Hello, I am Julio M. Schilling, and I want to welcome you to our first The Schilling Summary in the English language. We already did one of these segments in Spanish last week, where we will, in a short period of time, analyze a news of particular reference. I want to welcome you and production. I want to comment on something that the White House press secretary said, because recently uh, I wrote an article, a column, stating that the U.S. is under threat from the left. There's a serious existential threat from the left as far as utilizing institutions that had never been put into practice in that manner, with the Democratic Party, big tech, the FBI, the CIA, a whole bunch of institutions are in effect looking to build an authoritarian model in the U.S. One of the criteria is persecuting the opposition. So I want you to see what the White House press secretary said today.
The president thinks that there is an extremist threat to our democracy. The president has been clear as he can be on that particular piece when we talk about a democracy, when we talk about our freedoms. The way that he sees is the Maga Republicans are the most energized part of the Republican Party. This is an extreme threat to our democracy, to our freedom, to our rights. The president thinks that there is an extremist threat to our democracy. The president has been clear as he can be on that particular piece when we talk about a democracy, when we talk about our freedoms. The way that he sees is the Maga Republicans are the most energized part of the Republican Party. This is an extreme threat to our democracy, to our freedom, to our rights. The president thinks that there is.
You heard right. Basically, the White House press secretary, which does not make a statement like that without the authorization from the executive branch, basically said that half the country is a threat to American democracy. In other words, she basically said that the Trump supporters are, and she repeated it quite often, a threat to American democracy. Now, tomorrow, Thursday, President Biden is going to give a speech in Philadelphia, which will probably have a lot to do with measures that they want to continue taking, because this isn't just begin now. Continue taking against the conservative movement, of which President Trump is a leader of that movement, but he is not the movement in general. And that's really what they're after. They want to have a loyal opposition of Republicans that go along with what essentially is a slow path on this long march through the institutions to instill Fabian socialism. I mean, this is what it's about. The Democratic Party is a totally different creature. Former President Barack Obama deconstructed it, purged all the moderates out. And what we have now is a war machine that's bent on putting in this country a soft authoritarian system where there's essentially a one-party rule. There'll be a loyal opposition that they can control. The FBI raid on Donald Trump's house is a setup for potential charges so that he cannot go as a candidate in the 2024 election. Whether they'll achieve that or not is a different story. But they're playing hardball, and the declaration today, which is insane and violates all precepts of a free society and a genuine democracy is basically labeling your true opposition as domestic terrorist. I mean, this is what the FBI has said, and it's incredible that they don't find an existential threat from Black Lives Matter, from Antifa, both Marxist organizations that during the 2020 summer waged a war on the American Republic and have expressly stated that it is their position that the U.S. needs to effectively deconstruct itself into a different system. So this is the prelude to what Biden will say tomorrow, and consistent with what we have seen really since 2015, when Donald Trump announced his candidacy. I mean, we remember all that, right? The utilization of the FBI, first the DNC, Democratic National Committee, hiring a foreign spy, Christopher Steele, to invent a fraudulent narrative sustained by Russian disinformation and peddled to the FBI, who basically relied on that Steele dossier for their FISA applications seeking the authorization to spy on American citizens. They delivered the FBI fraudulent information to be able to spy on Trump's campaign. They found absolutely nothing. Trump won the presidency, 4 years throughout trying to dislodge him, which is a polite way of saying overthrowing his presidency. And he leaves office and they still have the war. They still have the war, which again, it is not just Trump. Trump is simply the leader. I mean, there's also a reason why they attack vehemently Governor Ron DeSantis. Why? Because he's effective and he sees the true nature of this seditious movement that is now being conducted from the top annals of political power in the United States. Again, counting on the social media oligarchs, the corporate media, and unfortunately, a whole host of other private actors that, in effect, through the imposition of the three main U.S. investors by way of mutual funds, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, are influencing private business into following a cultural Marxist woke agenda, which embraces critical race theory, gender ideology, critical queer theory. I mean, this is the path that they're going in. All this narrative requires that there be a villain. Well, the villain they've chosen is white Christian conservative America, and this is where the war is at. And hearing Biden's press secretary basically is an announcement of what the president's speech will be on further persecuting the real opposition. Thank you for watching. And before we go, I want you to let's listen again to the White House spokesperson on the state of civil liberties in America.
The president thinks that there is an extremist threat to our democracy. The president has been clear as he can be on that particular piece when we talk about a democracy, when we talk about our freedoms. The way that he sees is the Maga Republicans are the most energized part of the Republican Party. This is an extreme threat to our democracy, to our freedom, to our rights.
Incredible. An extreme threat to our democracy. Our democracy. This November, It's not just an issue of voting, it's an issue of making sure your vote counted, voting for Republicans that are going to, in effect, present an obstacle to the Biden-Obama regime and make it clear that this is not business as usual. The American Republic is in risk. The president's spokesperson just said so. Thank you for watching. Until the next time, goodbye. God bless.